Matt, thanks and welcome back. Next week, you can immerse yourself in films made by local filmmakers. It's the 44th Northwest Filmmakers Festival, and it kicks off next Wednesday, so a week from this Wednesday. And here to tell us all about it, Festival Manager Ben Popp and Featured Director Julie Perini. Ben, let's start with you. What does the festival feature this year? It's a theme, as I understand it, correct?
Well, not really. Well, there's not really a theme necessarily. It's the Northwest Filmmakers Festival is usually it's all regional cinema, so films from Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, BC, and Alaska. But we do have 15 feature films. There's 4 shorts programs. There's a full-day event, the Northwest Filmmakers Summit, which has vendors, a live filmmaker event with people shooting Super 8, panels, presentations. We have the Fresh Film Northwest, which is the youth-made film component of the festival.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how young are these?
Those guys are, it's ages 13 to 19.
And I'm sure you're seeing some impressive things.
Oh yeah. Now, every year you see more and more films that are just getting so much better by
All right. So I was told that there's a lot of issues surrounding social justice and also inequity, things like this, which leads us, Julie, into your film. And it's really quite interesting, and I think people locally here will find an interest in this as well. Tell us a little bit about the background.
Sure. Well, I think this is a very appropriate place to screen the film for the first time. This is a premiere. This is the first time it's screening before it goes off to other festivals or other audiences. And it's an appropriate venue because the subject of the film, it's called The Gentleman Bank Robber, is someone who was born in Klamath Falls and grew up there and then lived in Seattle and in Oregon. And she was called the Gentleman Bank Robber because she was part of, there's a little clip of it right now, she was part of an underground organization that was active in the early 1970s in the Pacific Northwest that carried out a lot of politically motivated militant protest activities. And she was responsible often for robbing banks in order to fund those protest activities, sort of like a Robin Hood, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I was surprised, I guess, and people might be, that people often think today things are so, I guess, conflicted, but you don't realize in the late 60s and early 70s, this was a very tumultuous time.
I think that's a great question. It's a really important reason people should learn about these histories, and it's an important reason I wanted to bring it forward through this very independent production that I've been working on over the past 5 years off and on, raising funds here and there to make it. And so, yeah, I mean, certainly the late 60s and early 70s were a very explosive time in this country's political history with, you know, protests in the streets and people carrying out all kinds of really spectacular actions to try to get change they wanted to see in society.
And Bo is the focus of the, right there you see Bo is the focus of this feature, and still active today.
Pretty much. I mean, she's slowed down a bit now. She has some health issues, but she had been very active. She moved to Oakland, California after she got out of prison. She spent 9 years in prison.
Right. Here? Right. Well, no, she was sentenced here, right?
She was sentenced here and then spent time in federal penitentiaries all over the country. There's a few that have maximum security prisons that have women, and so, and she was in not all maximum, but others too.
Right.
So, yeah.
One thing you learned while putting this project together? The one thing that sticks with you? Wow,
that's a great question. I learned about, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just the importance of, say, of working with archives. You know, the stories that people tell about their own lives are somewhat different from what an archive will tell you, the kind of newspaper stories or footage like we're generating right now. There's often different information in those kinds of stories, yeah.
Ben, what else can folks look forward to with the festival?
Yeah, well, one big program that we're doing is a kickoff to another series throughout November, December. That's the Trailblazing Women of Independent Animation in the Northwest. That's featuring 6 women animators that were both here in Portland, in Olympia, Washington, and Vancouver, BC, that really kind of set the trends for independent animation throughout the world. So there's going to be a kickoff screening for that, as well as a panel. There's going to be another feature by a local filmmaker, Cornelius Swart, on the opening night, Priced Out, which is kind of tackling these ideas of gentrification in Portland. We have 2 other Portland filmmaker features, Crazy Right by Ian Fowler and Removed by Kevin Forrest. Those are both on Saturday. A whole lot of fantastic.
Yeah. All right, let's put the website up because I'm sure you're going to want to go to this webpage and tell us where to go here, Ben.
Yep, go here and you'll see a tab for festivals. You click on that, you'll see the 44th Northwest Filmmakers Festival. Click there, you can find out all the information for the films there, be able to buy tickets. Passes are only $35, so you know.
Ben, thank you for coming. Julie, thanks for chatting about your film. Good luck as well.
Thank
you both. Back with more right after this.